Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Resolve, I guess. Still got more investigations to go through. We talked to Gina for a while. That was pretty cool. Got to catch up with her last time, you know. Nice to see that she seems to be doing well and to be pretty, I don't know, definitely a little more well-adjusted than she was last time around, you know. But we did one thing though. We need to do though is we didn't look at some. Well, I don't know. I figured we'd take a look at some of the evidence that we found in a little more detail. It looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I'd never seen anything like it before. I mean, I don't think it's that out there, is it? But applying Mr. Sholmes' methods, you might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. And the sharding must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Man, I think someone's rubbing off. I think Herlock might be rubbing off on you in a bad way. Oh, maybe not. Yeah. I don't know about that one, Chief. I guess it is kind of thick. Let's see, what about this, like, this thing? Like a fucking crossbow or something? Ah! There's some sort of lever here. Holy shit, it is a crossbow! What the? What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. Like a bow gun or something. Clearly, a fucking heavy bowgun main left their weapon here on the fairgrounds. I think it's probably used for the same thing, too. So it was a crossbow. I was totally right. See, that's why it's good to examine things, because you never know when, you know, it might come in handy. But also, why did someone have a crossbow around? This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right. It's a sort of bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with a bowstring 2 times out of 3. Oh, I guess you've done some archery practice? In fact, if I had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Kazuma in Kyoto archery training. So yeah, I guess you have done archery practice. Also, man, nice. You don't got nothing to say about this fucking crossbow? You're just looking around passively? It looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. Well, yeah, that's sort of the appeal of crossbows, is that they were easier to use and, well, you know, could be more handy than like your old-fashioned longbow. Ugh. I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the exhibition grounds. And then the sketch that Gina gave us. I guess this was Hairbrain's machine, and Mr. Assman was, you know, here, and he ended up here somewhere in the Crystal Tower somehow. So yeah, the experiment did kind of work at least. But still, not to the extent that you know, Hairbrain obviously wanted. But now we can... Oh, no, duh. I forgot. They made it, like, one whole thing. I mean, I guess it's part of the same area, but, like... You know... Wait, no, I don't... Bro! I was clicking on the exhibition thing to take me upstairs, goddammit. Okay, fine. These stairs, obviously, yeah, okay, yeah, you know. Now we can go back, we can go upstairs and... Now, that opening is basically almost exactly the same as Detective Gumshoe's theme, I think. Before we talk to fucking Gregson, let's look around a bit ourselves. There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time. Oh, in your country, Runo? Oh, I do wish I could go and see it. I'd present a particularly steely samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories I'd written especially. She said steely samurai. It's like a nod, you know? Isn't that fucking adorable? And see if I couldn't get Hurley into the jam against some Bartitsu Master Ninjas. You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think. Oh, well, that's dull. Oh, but I do know a prosecutor with a Chonmage top knot that I could introduce you to. A Chonmage? Really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him? Do ya? Assuming he's recovered from the trim Kazuma gave him a year ago, yes. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I'm pretty sure Kazuma cut his fucking hair off. And he also, you know, had another experience with hair the last time we saw him, you know. Is that a Ferris wheel? Can I go up in the gondola? What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel. Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you can see. Why? Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery. Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still. What do you mean it looks completely still? The fucking, the gondolas are, you know, are clearly moving. I can see them move right behind us. Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour. If you were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think? I feel as though you might just have invented a new sort of ride there, Runo. Yeah, I guess roller coasters weren't officially a thing yet. Maybe Ryunosuke can develop the world's first roller coaster. Let's see, what about this doohickey? Well, it ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently. And mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air. You know, even if the thing worked perfectly, I'm not sure if I would want to be disassembled, even if I was reconstituted, you know, somewhere else. It's like, well, it's like that Ship of Theseus thing, you know, where if you take all the individual part holes of something, and take them all apart, and then reassemble them the same way, you know? Well, no, that's not exactly Ship of Theseus, is it? Either way, taking something and breaking it down to its base molecules, and then rearranging it, even if it is exactly the same, like, I don't know, it feels like one of those things that it would kind of, raise some questions about whether or not it was really you. Yes! Beamed, not blasted. That's the point. Well, yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris? Oh, Runo, I'm just a child. How should I know? Oh, come on, you're like the smartest smartest person in England. You know everything, Iris. A child wouldn't suit you, you mean? From what I can tell, I think if you would have pulled— oh, fucking hell. Oh, stop! Don't touch that! That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Gregsy. Oh, I thought, well, I didn't think Gregson was gonna pop up until we clicked on him, but here he is. Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. So sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Of course, now he's simping for her tea. Glug. Glug, glug, glug. Isn't even that good? Ah, wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. Okay, well, now I guess Gregson wants to talk. See, again, I thought, you know, I thought I had to click on him first. We're representing Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. so we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's a blasted Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty. Okay, I don't want to hear about your fucking potty, Gregson. You can keep your potting to yourself. Oh yes, that special dispensation. Yeah, there you go. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Eh? Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gregsy? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. Oh, but please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will ya? Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno? She really knows how to get what she wants. Bup. So I guess all this is like probably part of the same thing, huh? Oh look! Oh shit! We can look up. Ain't that something? See what? So those are people. Those are people carrying balloons, dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly. Really? But I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful, floating Tambari handballs. I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Bruno. Please? Well, personally, I don't know if I'd want to get up in one of those myself. I know they're relatively safe, but I don't know. The thought of being up in the sky, like that, and I'm just like in a basket, basically, without any kind of protection, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to fly in a plane normally, and those are, well, I mean, not really safer, I guess, but, you know. You at least don't, you can at least, I guess, I assume once you're in the plane and flying, you can sort of, you know, ideally not notice the fact that you're up in the air. But if you're sitting in a hot air balloon, you're always going to know that you're up in the air, and, I don't know. It will be a little much for me. The thought of someone pushing me out of a hot air balloon and I just fall to my death is just really scary. If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast-iron guarantee that the thing won't plump to the ground, I'm too scared. I can relate. Oh well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode. Well, I mean, yeah, that's sort of the issue, isn't it? Yes, call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play in my mind a little. So what about this box? Oh, I thought we could look at the box, but I guess that's not important. William and Turner. Those are my two favorite dudes. Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. Yeah, I'd say so. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think. Oh, good God. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself. You hear? Okay, wow. And here I was thinking Gregson was just a fucking name, but here he is fucking threatening death out on me. You really are a suspicious son of a bitch. I won't touch a thing, I promise. So, please, spare a thought for your digestion, sir. Oh, shit, anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims? Yeah, I'm curious. He asked, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't. Can we? Because of the annoying rules, you mean? Yeah, rules are for dorks and losers. Fuck the rules. I do what I want, you know? Exactly. The annoying, obstructive, flaming rules. Oh. Look at the base of the machine there. Oh, yes. There's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. It's a screwdriver, I think. Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A. It is? Huh. Oh, yes, you're right. Or it might be specifically with an A in mind. It might just be how the handle turned out. It just looks like an A. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said. Stop fucking sending death threats my way, God. That's really fucking toxic, Gregson. Yes, I understand. Sorry. I only touched a teeny weeny bit. Can't I just get a little touch a little bit as like as a reward? As a treat for being a good boy? Ugh. You're so unreasonable, Gregson. But Gregsy, I'm very curious about the screwdriver. Really, very, very curious. Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. But Bruno found it first. I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it. Humph. That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now. Haha, yeah. Stick it to him, Iris. Tell him how it is. But also, is he like gone? Because I didn't get a chance to talk to him. Poor Gregsy. Is he still here? Okay, good, he's still here. I thought he's left somehow. Okay, that's like that's like the base of the machine, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's all like one thing. Okay, so maybe we can examine this top part, see what we can deduce. That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the crystal tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going. Well, I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Bruno. It was set up to beam people to the crystal tower, where they'd be reconstructed in their original form. Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course. Yeah, I suppose that's true, yes. But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Yeah, I guess not. Okay, I need to stop going bup-bup, bup-bup. It's fun though. Bup-bup, bup-bup, bup-bup. Let's see. Oh, no, we probably shouldn't show him the crossbow. He might think we're threatening him, and then we die. But let's just chat. Hey, what about go-bit policy, eh? Using high-voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body. I don't know. It sounds like science fiction, but, I mean, it's a video game, so they can kind of do what they want, I suppose. And then beam him across to the crystal tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it was by far The most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. They can be the first to develop some new technology that makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see? Yeah, I guess so. Also, man, I'm surprised we're not, like, we aren't litigate. Well, I don't know, I guess Miyanoshi's not a grudge holder. But, like, the fact he didn't even bring up Gregson's, you know, sussiness in the last game. And here they are just, like, on normal speaking terms. It's interesting. Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way. So, the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientific rights at the moment. That's interesting. You know, I definitely, like, I don't know, this whole focus on, like, this great exhibition and, like, world fairs and stuff, it really feels like a bygone time, you know? Like, I know, obviously, these things weren't perfect, and, like, a lot of the time, it was just a way for nations to show off and show their dominance or whatever. But, like, the idea, or, like, the concept of a bunch of countries, you know, coming together, to show off, to show their new technology, or their culture, or just, you know, their, well, I guess, yeah, you say their culture in general, and having that sort of cultural sharing and appreciation and stuff, like, it's pretty cool. And you wouldn't, and while I guess these kind of exhibitions do still happen in, you know, today, even, you know, it's not exactly the same, and they don't seem to be as, like, big of a deal as they were, you know, during, like, this time period, or even, like, the early 1900s. Like, I don't think the world, like, I don't think the United States has had any kind of exposition like this since, like, 1984, and, you know, from the, again, I don't know. It's an interesting ideal, at least, and it's a concept I wouldn't mind exploring, like, if it was explored sometime in the future, you know? It's at least nice sounding. But yeah, I know sometimes, yeah, it was just a way for, you know, countries to show off. Well, what sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brains have, remain their legal property, as it were. I mean, that's pretty cool, you know? You always hear about fucking, these days with copyright infringements and, you know, companies being really protective of their IPs. So it's nice that, like, the scientists who are actually doing the work are being able to, you know, maintain their, rights over it. Right through developing it into a practical idea, and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. I mean, I know it's annoying, but, like, it's good to respect the rights of the people who are doing this kind of hard work, you know? Because the new highfalutin special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. I mean, it's not convenient for us, since we would like to investigate the scene as well, but, you know. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the Yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team? Well, where the fuck are they? I don't see anyone else around here. Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal was a scam to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it. Poor Gregson. He's very head up, isn't he? What the fuck does head up mean? You mean like heterosexual? Maybe. Let me see. Oh, it's a okay. Adjective. Angry and agitated. Oh, okay, I guess that is a thing people say. Anyway, what about the special dispensation, anyway? Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Oh, you haven't me at it, Sunshine. It's a special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. How do they... I swear the game's trying to punish me by making me say dispensation like 500 times. Yes. I think Hurley mentioned that recently. The real twinkle in his eyes, as I remember. I'm sure he did, your ladyship, I'm sure he did. But especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in the civil service, and if it gets rubber stamped, that's guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. But what does that really mean? Well, think about it. Think about the world-changing new inventions on display here every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are little cobblers if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Bro, why are you calling me a shammer? I didn't fucking make the stupid machine. Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun. But sorry, my finger slipped. That's my bad. It might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say. Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry. Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. God, why do you always gotta bitch about one thing or the other, Gregson? It's never like, hey, how's it going? Or like, oh man, this weather sure is nice. You're always bitching about something. If any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientists get funding? Oh no! What shock! What horror! How dare the scientists get funding for their ideas? Exactly. And that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers. That's who. Well, okay, maybe you need to fucking cheer up, my guy. Like, holy hell. So you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science. Hang it. Oh. Maybe I can see your point. Oh, don't listen to Gregson, man. He's a whiny little dude, okay? Besides, Professor Harebrained believes very much in his idea, and I don't think he's just trying to scam people. Or sham them either. Apparently, Professor Harebrained lives and works in Germany, now conducting his research. That's right. Came back to Britain, especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Also, he didn't even need to fake his science or whatever for the money, because he already had his financier, Mr. Assman. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Again, no, he already had a financier, Mr. Assman. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today, about his time in further education. It turns out he was at university with someone we both know, Lord Van Zykes. Eh? What's that? Well, that's news to me. But if Van Zykes man's prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed? Because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey. That man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Well, again, apparently there's like literally no other prosecutors in all of London, so I guess Van Zykes has to, you know, handle every fucking case. Now, talking of Van Zykes, this morning's paper read the story of him being attacked. Did you read that? Oh yes, it was amazing. Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder? Oh, you have some fucking thoughts on the Reaper, do you? The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Assman, he was another of the Reaper's victims. Well, so I heard. Lord Baroque Van Zykes, the top-class prosecutor. But even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed, and evidence being falsified. And maybe Britain's fucking court system isn't even that great if jurors get bribed that easily. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Well, obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zykes initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. You know, like Batman, or the Punisher. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zykes is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. Oh yeah, and we see how good your reputation is considering the events of the last game, you fucking sussy bogger. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't just have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. Maybe they're just really unlucky, you know? I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zykes was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind, which again, I just can't imagine. You what? You what? He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Bro, what have I done to be a nuisance? I'm a good boy. You don't have to say such mean things about me and hurt my feelings. God forbid I feel a little bit sensitive. But you know what? You don't need your stupid fucking crime scene. Fuck you. Take this crossbow, goddammit. As a detective, what do you make of this? Personally speaking, 9 times out of 10, I find clues turn out to be red herrings. There's every chance that's totally irrelevant. That's actually a fairly persuasive argument. Ooh, I should show him my armband. See what he has to say about that. This is a symbol of a defense lawyer where I come from, Inspector. Well, then pass muster in London. You might as well chuck it in the deep fat fryer. No one's ever said that to me before. Mr. Sholmes suggested I feed it to a dog, though. If you fry it first, you can feed it to me. Bro, you want to eat my fucking, like, leather, I assume, armband if it's deep fried? What the fuck is wrong with you? Do you think it's made of potato? God, you're fucking... What the fuck, man? Don't eat my goddamn armband. Inspector, have you read it in the paper? Yeah, 2 unwelcome blasts, back to back. This one at the exhibition, and the Reaper getting attacked. I know. Terrible news to wake up to, wasn't it? I tried to pretend I hadn't read it, and turned over for another 40 winks. Thanks to that, I was laid up and got roasted from the super. Some bunnies are like that, aren't they? Yeah, I suppose so. Okay, well, that was amusing in its own way, I suppose. But, I don't know. I guess we'll wrap things up for now. I'm not sure where to go to from here, because it doesn't seem like there's any particular... Like, there wasn't any cutscene or whatever to be like, oh, hey, this thing is over now. You know, you should leave. You could go somewhere else, you know? Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out next time. For now, though, I'll see you around.